appreciate my Crocs. They're furry lined, so they're really comfy. A little bit about me, other than I wear Crocs and band t-shirts and Steven Tyler headbands. If you don't know who Steven Tyler is, look him up, he's awesome. He's the lead singer of Aerosmith. But I am from Alaska, from Anchorage, Alaska. Anybody here from Alaska? Anybody ever been to Alaska? Who's been there that's not been on a cruise? You guys have actually been to Alaska. I, growing up, didn't like telling people I was from Alaska because they asked me stupid questions like, did you ride a polar bear to school? No, I rode a bus. Powered by polar bears, get it right. Now that I'm older, I feel like I'm kind of ashamed to be from Alaska because one of our biggest fun facts of Alaska is that the town of Talkeetna, there for 20 years, they had a cat as a mayor. Mayor Stubbs, he died last year, may he rest in peace. They had a real person replace him as the mayor, and I'm just thinking, how do you follow a 20-year legacy of a cat? Do you have to wear cat ears and a tail to town hall just so you can be taken seriously? Questions that go through my mind every day. A little bit about my stand-up is I like to talk about things that I don't necessarily understand or frustrate me. Something that I don't understand that frustrates me is guilty pleasures. You guys don't understand guilty pleasures. I don't think the world understands guilty pleasures. If you ask someone, what's your guilty pleasure? They're like, my guilty pleasure is, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed to say this, but eating chocolate, binge watching Netflix, and stalking my ex's new girlfriend on every social media platform. No. Those are not guilty pleasures, those are necessities of life. It's gotten worse. I was listening to Spotify and I was looking through new playlists and they had a guilty pleasures. I'm like, I'm gonna shake it up a bit. Let's see. I was outraged because you know what? I wrote it down. Don't Go Breaking My Heart, Dancing Queen, Mr. Brightside, Believe by Cher, No Scrubs, Don't Stop Me Now, Complicated, All-Star, Africa, Mr. Blue Sky are not guilty pleasures. Save this for later. The only real guilty pleasures is I Want Candy by Aaron Carter, the High School Musical 2 soundtrack, and Mambo number 5. And that is the end of this discussion. Moving on. Moving on to self-deprecation. All right, raise your hands if you feel like you're doing nothing with your life. Yes, awesome, we're on the same page. People who didn't raise your hands, tell us your ways. I think it's sad though, as college students, we feel like we haven't done anything because going to college, leaving home for the first time, living with people that are weird, trying to get a 4.0 GPA, which, because we think that's what success is in college, trying to work out but fail, trying to have a social life and fail, and all doing this while eating food that gives us no nutritional value is enough. That's sad. Well, it's because it never will be enough, because there's always going to be someone out there that's smarter, prettier, funnier, and younger than us doing more, like creating cool new apps, fighting for social justice, curing cancer, and all doing while having the perfect Twitter stream. And my biggest accomplishment is the fact that I can cry 3 times on any given day before noon. How is that fair? My mom, she hates that I do self-deprecating humor, probably just as much as she hates the fact that I'm wearing Crocs right now. She's like, I just don't think it's that funny or relatable or gonna help you in your dating life because that's not going very well for you right now. You she wonders why I do self-deprecating humor. But she's like, I think you should write a joke about, when you're in the grocery store. I just said, Mom, I'm gonna stop you right there. I am not telling jokes for your book club. I am telling jokes for college students. Self-deprecation is embedded into our identity. We cannot go 2 minutes without saying, don't look at me, I haven't showered in 3 days, or look at a crying baby and say, same. My dad, on the other hand, loves that I do stand-up comedy. When I started doing it, he was like, finally, this is something I can get behind, because he used to have to tape his eyelids open while I did a 3-hour Shakespeare monologue because I did theater in high school. He hated it. He's just so into it. He wants to help me write all my jokes, and it's all just making fun of Democrats and millennials, which he thinks are the same thing. They're not. The other day, he's like, I think you should write a joke about how your generation doesn't have a backbone. Dad, having a peanut allergy is not a choice. It's a real thing. He's like, I don't know. I never knew anyone my age who had a peanut allergy growing up. I'm like, Dad, they were all probably dead. I hate when people say that someone's an old soul because they listen to Hotel California by the Eagles twice a year. No. An old soul is someone who eats Jell-O, goes to bed before 9:30 while wearing a nightgown. I am an old soul. You want more proof? Back in September, October, I drove 30 minutes to Idaho Falls to go see Downton Abbey, the movie. I was the youngest girl there by at least 20, 30 years. It was actually kind of funny because when the movie started, there's that instrumental theme song that plays before every episode. And there was just this huge sigh of release that was released into the theater. And it was just all what's the female, estrogen? Yeah, that. You could just feel it just pounding on you, because they were all just oh, they're back. And then there was these very few groans, deep groans from men, I'm never getting these 2 hours back of my life. I just felt so bad for them. Ladies, we need to stop bringing guys to movies they don't want to see. I made that mistake when I was 20 years old, not that long ago, 2 years ago. When I was in my first relationship, it wasn't a relationship, I just thought it was. And I brought him to see Mamma Mia 2, Here We Go Again. Big mistake. Because he's sitting there with this blank stare on his face the whole time. And I was like, we're gonna be that cute couple that watches rom-coms together. And I looked at him what did you think? Now that I've watched that, we need to watch all the Fast and Furious movies. Do you know how many Fast and Furious movies there are? There's 10. And they're not movies. No, they are 10-hour and 2-hour installments of Vin Diesel jumping out of a car that's about to blow up while he does a somersault onto hard concrete with no scratches. That is what we have to submit ourselves to, ladies. Do not do it. Go by yourself like I do to movies. Don't bring your boyfriend or any guy ever, because that's what you have to live with. The relationship did not end. It ended very quickly. He ghosted me. But in my mind, I like to say that I ended it because I wasn't going to put myself through that. Girl power. Speaking of driving, I hate driver's tests. I think they're so impractical, because how many times have you actually parallel parked when you didn't have to? 0. And if you're one of those people who's I just love parallel parking. I'm just so good at it. If you're the kind of person that watches the Fast and Furious movies. Notice how it was like a guy's voice. I think driver's test should be more practical. I think that a requirement to pass is that you have to be able to put your hot sauce on your cheesy gordita crunch while you're doing a U-turn on a yellow light. Now that is useful, and that is the end of my set. Thank you very much.